Good afternoon. I'm here today with consultant psychiatrist and trauma specialist Dr Geoff Thompson. Geoff has worked for 15 years in a veterans unit working closely with men facing mental illness. Geoff is also currently the Associate Dean of Professionalism at Monash University and their Faculty of Medicine, Nursing and Health Sciences. Geoff, why do you think that men in Australia struggle in particular with their mental health?
I think commonly we find that men are not as good at coming forward for help, and that's, I think, their biggest struggle, not only for the men but also for the services, and trying to work out how we can better encourage men to come forward and how we can capture them, preferably early, if they are having any sort of mental health issues.
Geoff, you mentioned before that men might be struggling with particular issues as opposed to women. What might some of those issues be?
Look, I think if we recognise that men are slow to come to treatment, they don't ask for help very readily, I think it's reasonable to assume that their stigma is a significant contribution to that. Men in our culture tend not to talk about their emotions perhaps as freely as women do. I think that probably also contributes to them being reluctant to talk to their friends or family about their mental health issues.
Do you think that the Australian ideals of what a man is could perhaps influence these stigmas surrounding men's mental health?
I think men in Australia have a particular challenge because, perhaps less so now, but traditionally the Aussie male macho persona is pretty much how Australian men have been seen both here and overseas. And I think that has probably added to the difficulties for Australian men in coming forward. I think that macho image, coupled with the stigma that's around mental health being a sign of weakness, I think that combination for men has been particularly challenging.
In terms of education, do you think that there's anything that can be done to reduce these stigmas?
Look, I think we've come a long way, but I think we've still got a long way to travel too. Education at all sorts of levels is important. There's been many more people who've been prepared to do their own personal stories, and people will actually come out. And when they're perhaps notable people or people that the public recognise or look up to, for them to come forward and put their hand up and say, well, look, I've had a mental health problem and I got some help and I'm better now and still functioning.
Geoff, thank you so much for coming in today. Tune in next week for the BBC's Mental Health Mondays for our discussion of postnatal and perinatal depression awareness.